First of all, I want to thank Father Jesus, Sister Carol, and all the members of the Vision for giving me a chance to do my first homily today. And I hope that it will be long enough for you to fall asleep. Dear fathers, brothers, and sisters, everything happened for a reason. Likewise, everyone has different reasons to follow priesthood or religious life. Some people might wish to become a priest or nun from their childhood. Some might join seminary because they admire their pastors. Some might decide to follow vocation after realizing God's call through a special event. Or even in some cases, people decide to enter a seminary without any specific reason or somehow just for fun. Can you guess which of those cases I belong to? Now I'm going to tell you how I started my vocation and how I have discerned my vocation. Honestly, I belong to the last case. I had not intended to become a priest before I entered the seminary in Vietnam. My senior year of high school was the time for me to decide which college and what major I would study for my future. I was thinking about many options. One day, I went to my friend's house to have some fun. Suddenly, her father saw me and said, "Hui, I heard our pastors announcing about taking the NG test to enter our diocese seminary. I think you can do it. Go and apply for the test." Honestly, I had heard this suggestion many times before. This time, however, the invitation sounded more interesting to me, and it really moved my heart. I kept thinking about the suggestion in the following days. I said to myself that I could try the entry test of the seminary, just like one more option for my college decision. If I failed, there would be no harm. If I passed, I would have one more choice to consider for my future. Eventually, I decided to see my pastor and apply for the test. Even though I was not very serious about taking the test, I still wanted to try my best to do it well. I started reviewing catechism to prepare for the test, and luckily I passed the test. In Vietnam, only those who pass the entry test can be accepted to enter the seminary. After thinking and praying carefully, I finally decided to enter the seminary instead of going to another college. I wanted to give myself a try for religious life, and that's how was I start my vocation. As you know, for most of the softwares, we can only have about 30 days for a trial, or maximum a year. However, I have already given myself 6 years for trial in priesthood vocation, and now I consider that religious life is no longer a trial for me, but a commitment. I don't know how about in the future, but now I'm very happy with my vocation. I always find peace and happiness while following God. It does not mean that I have never experienced difficulties, even quite a lot. However, after those difficulties, I still find peace and happiness. Just like many of you, people usually ask me why I want to follow priesthood vocation and why I still want to continue my vocation. I was looking for a satisfactory answer for this difficult question, and just last year, I found a better answer I ever had. That is, like many people who want to marry because of love, I want to follow my vocation also because of love. I love to follow God. I love to serve people. And I love to be closer to God in my prayer. As long as I still in love, I will continue to follow my vocation. If one day my love for marriage life is greater than my love for religious life, I will stop. And I will tell you that day. And I will forget to invite you to my wedding. But how do I know that I am in love? I have discerned this question based on three aspects, which I call three types of joy. The first and the most important joy is the joy in prayer. As Father Brennan, the vocation director of the Diocese of Savannah, said, if a man is not praying every day, then he is really not discerning his vocation. The second joy is the joy in study, and the third one is the joy in community life. How do I often feel when attending Mass and prayer? Joyful, bored, or even burdened? How do I often feel about my study? Do I appreciate learning new things every day, or I just don't care about it? How do I often feel about living with the community? Joyful or depressed? These three types of joy are interrelated to each other. My joy in prayer helps me in my study and community living. What I have learned in my study can help me to pray and to interact with my brothers and sisters much better. My community members can support me in my study and spiritual life. If I still have these kinds of joy and happiness on my vocation journey, even in difficulties, I consider that I'm still fit with my vocation and still in love with it. That is how I discern my vocation. I'm very grateful to be a seminarian, and I'm looking forward to being a priest in the future. However, there will be still a lot of challenges on my journey, and I really need God's grace through your prayers to overcome them. Please remember me in your prayers, so that I can be a beneficial disciple as God wants me to be. May God help us to encounter the joy in prayer, in study, and in community living, so that we can become joyful disciples of God, as Pope Francis said, wherever there are men and women religious, there is joy. Thank you for listening.